On the day, this is a Memoriiies Media podcast with your boy Greg Smiley, and we got a special guest in the building with us today. One of the owners of Blue Room. And he owns multiple businesses. Everybody, please welcome Mr. William Bridwell. So I'm taking my time.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
So, where you from?
Grew up in right outside of Birmingham, Alabama, Hoover, Alabama. Moved to Statesboro about 8 years ago.
So, how did that make you? What made you bring a business? You and your partners bring a business to Statesboro?
Really, just opportunity. I started my entertainment company when I was in school at Georgia Southern.
Oh, you attended Georgia Southern?
I did.
Yes, sir.
I attended the University of Alabama. Took a few years off to work a corporate job and wound up in Georgia. Eventually wanted to go back to school, so got to Georgia Southern, and the opportunity presented itself to start booking some bands. That led to me booking music for a couple venues in the area. And
was that a part of your corporate job, or you that's when you left the corporate job?
I was running pharmacies, man.
Okay.
I was running CVS pharmacies. So,
two totally different businesses.
Completely. But I've always had interest in the performing arts and whatnot. So it was definitely a passion for me, and I mean when the opportunity presented itself, I took it and ran, and just started building things up and looking for bands, venues, started putting on public shows around Statesboro, bringing in some country artists.
Is this where Airbound and Entertainment came in?
Yes, that is. Yep. Started that when at Georgia Southern, and started booking college events for fraternities and sororities at Southern. That opened the door to book some bigger artists too, and really just organically kind of grew that business to the point where I was bringing in shows to the former places that were at the Blue Room before the Blue Room.
Yeah.
So South City Tavern, the Borough, right before the Blue Room, and both of those bars really, they had their moments, but it seemed to be that their busiest nights were when we would put a show in.
Yes, sir. So on the regular nights, business really wasn't booming like that. Yeah,
that's what they would tell me.
Yeah.
So, and when South City owners decided that they were gonna get out of the business here, they offered to sell it to me. At that time, it wasn't the right time for me, so I passed on it. The Borough came in and bought it, made it the Borough, and then after about 9 months, they pulled me aside after a pretty good event one night and said, you seem to have a knack for this. We can't keep doing this. We're not, this isn't a successful venture for us so far. Would you be interested in buying the place? And that's where the Blue Room adventure began.
So would you already have to have a team together to do something like this, or was this like once the opportunity came, you just like, hey, you want to just
it's networking and relationships have always been a huge thing to me. So I've always prided myself in building solid relationships, and to me, you never know what relationships will come into play when. So in the year leading up to the opportunity to buy the Borough, I had started doing more stuff with Al Chapman, who owns Nat's Landing and Del Sur here in Statesboro. And I think we admit.
Real quick, you own two businesses across the street from each other?
Yeah. Hey, man. If anybody can do it, Al can do it, right? He's got that corner on lock.
Yeah.
So we had gotten closer and done some business together through my college events. They were catering pretty much all the college events that I did, and I think we had maybe had a side conversation here or there, like, wouldn't it be cool, type of thing. And owning a venue is one of the three things that I grew up wanting to accomplish in my life.
Going from pharmacy to owning a venue.
I know, right? I mean, the pharmacy thing was just a way to get by day to day, but I always knew that I wanted to try to make something for myself and my family, that I knew that I helped build, and that it was, mine.
Yes, sir. So, the Blue Room.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name, and how did it come about?
So, sitting around the kitchen table at Al, my partner's house, with our third partner, Kaleo Lyles, we were just bouncing ideas off. We didn't want it to be super cliche Georgia Southern, but then again, we're right in the heart of Eagle Nation, and
going towards that direction a little.
Yeah, so I mean, we were bouncing ideas off, and I just said out loud the Blue Room, and everybody was behind it, and we talked about ways that we could brand the place and market it, and that's where I made the decision around the kitchen table.
So what was the motivation? Like, you just blurted out the Blue Room, or is that like you thinking about a band, or you're in the business?
To me, I mean, one of Georgia Southern's colors is blue, true blue. So it has a connection to Georgia Southern, yet it's not the Eagle's Nest or something, Irk's Place, or it's not something where it's like, okay, that's, you're trying a little too hard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, even early on, we've had, thoughts and hopes of potentially expanding and open up places elsewhere, and there's a lot of different colors. And so you got the Blue Room here. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So. Was when you were thinking about opening a business, like you said that you wanted to own a business.
Mm-hmm.
Was Statesboro your first choice? Like, was it always I want to do it here in Statesboro, or you was thinking about Alabama or Atlanta or something?
I really didn't even know that Statesboro existed until 2012.
Yeah.
I mean, just to be honest. Opportunities presented themselves to wind up in South Georgia, and once I got here, and then once I got tied into the university, I loved it. I mean, it's just a beautiful place, and I mean, the people are awesome. And then really over time, it was pretty apparent to me that there was a need here, and there was something not being fulfilled in the city. And then, of course, there were some tragic things that happened that led to the bars kind of having a decline around here for a little while. And, when I had the chance to buy South City, I didn't feel like Statesboro was quite on the way back up from that yet. Yes, when the borough made that offer, I did feel like the timing was perfect, and because of those relationships that I mentioned, I did think that we had the perfect team to do it. With my background in entertainment and with doing a lot of college events and us being 2 streets away from Greek Row, with Al and Kaleo's huge success in the bar and food industry. And just having a vast network of people around the community as well. It just seemed like it was like the dream team almost, the dream team of Statesboro.
Statesboro Venezuela is done together.
Yeah, man. But I mean, I've always had that kind of entrepreneurial type of attitude toward things, and I did know that I wanted to own my own business at some point. And just winding up in Statesboro, and then becoming a part of the community here, and eventually graduating from Georgia Southern, everything just kind of fell into place.
So what's in you that made you want to take that type of risk? Like, it's a risk doing this type of stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. A lot of people is, they see the backside of it and they're like, oh, you're so lucky, this and that. But, there have been other business ventures that haven't worked out very well at all, So I think in the business world, sometimes you're going to try and you're going to fail, but hopefully you learn a hell of a lot from it and don't make the same mistakes. And then sometimes you're going to try and you're going to hit it out of the park,
That's my question. How do you and your other ventures, like the Blue Room, how do you plan on having consistency and staying here for the long run and not being run out like the other venues that were here?
Right. So there's a few things that kind of philosophies for us since the beginning of opening the Blue Room. One, we wanted to be a place that everyone feels welcome. Yes. I feel like there have been places in the past that, kind of get pigeonholed into this is this type of crowd's place or this type of crowd's place. For us, that doesn't exist. We want a place where everybody knows they can walk through the door. There's going to be a little something entertainment-wise for everybody.
So diversity is important.
Absolutely. I mean, it's and entertainment diversity is important too. I mean, it's why our business model from the beginning has been, give people some live entertainment at the beginning of the night, and then give them kind of the club vibe, at the end of the night, because colleges are very diverse places. Yeah. So it's one of those things of, can we give everybody a little something that turns their day around or makes their night a little bit better, So that's one of the philosophies that we kind of came into.
What is the goal for when the partiers come in, college students, when they come into the Blue Room? Like, what are you trying to give them? What experience are you trying to share with them to make them even want to come back, or even like, yo, like the Blue Room, yo?
Yeah. Well, that like feeds directly into like the second thing that we wanted to accomplish when we started the Blue Room, which is we always want to be constantly getting better. After the first semester, very grateful that we had just a huge first semester, and got our name out in the in the college, and people were loving the atmosphere and whatnot. We could have just continued on with what we had here, right? But we put in the artificial turf in the backyard, the pavilion over the back patio, redid the backstage, put up big privacy fences to be respectful of our back neighbors and trying to keep the noise down. Constantly adding production effects like CO2 and snow machines, and gutting out the booths on the side, to create kind of a little bit more upscale VIP atmosphere for those that may want that.
Yes, sir.
So for us, it's always just a constant, what can we do to make the Blue Room, a step above what we've been in the past, and I think that's what, in a college market, that's what you have to do. It's things can get stale, things can get to be like, oh, it's the same old. So we're constantly trying to kind of reinvent ourselves so that people don't get bored,
come to the same thing every night,
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that was a big goal for us early on, and I mean, we're always trying to brainstorm and come up with new ideas, and come up with new parties, and
because something I noticed, like you bring in like some live bands in here, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the live bands you bring in here is the Orange Constant. Am I correct? Okay, you're the manager for them?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, my question is two questions.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on the Orange Constant, and
Yeah.
also, how do you juggle being a manager and a talent buyer and a business owner and a family man? How do you juggle all that at once?
That's a constant battle. I think balance in anybody's life is it's never perfect. The way I see business for me, and the many hats that I have to wear is that at the end of the day, my main goal is that I'm trying to support a family, and I'm trying to give my family a better life, and that can look like a lot of different things, but also, I mean, I absolutely love what I do, and I think the Orange Constant is a killer alt rock, jam band. They're killing it up in Athens right now, and they've seemed to carry their name over a 6-year period in Statesboro now, even with the college continuously rotating new students in. They seem to always kind of have their name in people's mouths and whatnot. But it's of course, as a manager for an artist, I have to look out for the best for what their goals and their needs are as an act. But it's really important to me to kind of try to separate the different hats that I wear and make sure that they don't cross over to where I'm being influenced by the different hats that I wear. So I want to make decisions for the Blue Room that are best for the Blue Room. I want to make decisions for the Orange Constant that are best for the Orange Constant.
So are you saying, like, if you make a decision for the Blue Room, you don't want that to roll over into your family life?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was speaking more in business, or
roll over into your other business endeavors.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Orange Constant got to stop doing this because the Blue Room.
Well, it's more like I'm not in the position as an owner of Blue Room to try to leverage what we have with the Blue Room to benefit my other businesses. Mm-hmm. Now, if it happens sometimes, but that's not my goal. My goal as an owner of the Blue Room is to make the Blue Room the best, music venue, bar, entertainment.
Really in Georgia.
Events venue. I mean, that's the goal, man. So it's all kind of just like separating things to where I'm trying to be the best that I can be for whatever hat I'm wearing at the time.
Yes, sir. So, speaking of affecting businesses, COVID-19, coronavirus.
Oof, it's a beast.
How has that affected business as usual?
I mean, there's never been a pandemic of this magnitude in my lifetime. So, I mean, it's really unprecedented. The fact that we had to shut business down completely, close our doors from spring break until June, is devastating. I think that for a lot of bars, music venues around the country, it's still happening. There's a lot of places that haven't reopened yet. So first and foremost, with the magnitude that COVID-19 carries, we're super blessed and grateful that we've been able to at least open our doors back up, since June. But that carries a lot of weight, and we had to put in a lot of things with our venue to try to keep patrons safe. At the end of the day, we want people to come in and have an amazing time. Every night we try to make it an experience. Not just you're coming to a bar, but you're coming to the Blue Room for an experience, So in order to do that, though, you want everyone first and foremost to be safe. That's why we have probably double the amount of security that anywhere else, in the state of Georgia has for a place this size. We want to keep people safe. That's why we put in shields in front of our bartenders and make it required that people wear masks through the door and get their temperature checked and so on and so forth. We're only able to continue being open if the community is healthy, so
everybody can come here, everybody's sick.
Exactly. So it's a huge priority, and we take great responsibility for that, So it was a killer on business, man. We we lost the busiest 6 weeks of our year. I mean, from the end of spring break until graduation is the busiest 6 weeks of the year.
Yeah.
And you know, we were showing big fat zeros for that time period.
So my question is, was the Blue Room almost like, because I haven't talked to any other businesses,
Mm-hmm.
was the Blue Room, did the coronavirus cause the Blue Room almost to close? Like, was that period where you was like, yo, we might have to shut this down, like, for good?
Thankfully, no. It never got to be that dire for us. You know, thankfully, when I was younger and learning about business and learning from mentors and people around me, you know, I always learned you have to really plan for the worst. Now, ain't nobody planning for a pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay. But having said that, I mean, you know, it's important if you own a business, you know, and if you start bringing in revenue, to set money aside, either, you know, to grow your business or for those times that business may be slower and you need to carry yourself through, or whatever it may be. So thankfully, you know, we had that kind of mentality, and we were okay to get through that time period. Now, I couldn't say to exact certainty if we were still closed to this date,
Would it still be okay?
you know, would it still be the
but-
same? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody could. Without any stimulus coming through from the government, I probably not. But you know, it's all in all. I mean, did COVID-19, you know, hurt us? Absolutely hurt us badly. But have we been super fortunate to be able to put in restricted capacity and keep our numbers low and still, you know, run a business? Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, couldn't be more thankful for that. That's for sure.
So, Georgia Southern. What's your thoughts on Georgia Southern as a whole?
Man, Georgia Southern's been great to me. I really love this place. I love this town. It really, I went to the University of Alabama, I won't say when, a long ass time ago. But I was there and I made the most of going out and having a great time and not really focusing on school. But when I came here, it really reminded me a lot of the campus at the University of Alabama. Just beautiful campus, you know, great education, and you know, and a lot of fun at the same time. So thankfully, I was a little bit more focused on doing what I should do once I got here. But I really, you know, I met my fiance here. I started 2 businesses here. You know, so I'm not sure that I could really say a bad thing about Georgia Southern and you know, Statesboro as a whole.
Okay. So, do you plan on taking the business out of Statesboro? Or trying to make this the destination for everybody to come, period? Whether you have a restaurant, a nightclub, everybody needs to come here because this is the night spot.
I mean, of course, our goal is to for the Blue Room and you know, our business here is we would love for people to come in from anywhere and everywhere and visit the Blue Room in Statesboro, and you know, grab some food at Nat's Landing in Del Sur, and really give people a great reason to stop through Statesboro if you're coming through South Georgia. But at the same time, I mean, myself and I mean, I can't really speak for my partners, but I think we're all pretty much on the same wavelength. You know, we want to continue to try to do big things and take what we've done here and multiply that in other places. You know, there's no better feeling than, especially pre-COVID, walking into the Blue Room at night and just seeing how much fun people are having, you know, and that we're a part of their day. You know, we're a part of giving them an experience that the next day they're gonna be like, damn, that was fun, you know.
Yeah. After they wake up 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, even if it is. Sometimes you got to sleep in after
Hey,
a night.
listen.
You know? But you know, to be able to do that in other markets, in other places, would be a dream. And we may have a few things in the works, but we'll see if they work out or not. I think, to me, and going back to just in business in general, I think it's really smart to grow kind of organically, not grow too fast, but you always want to be getting better and building and getting bigger. But I think it's good to grow organically and grow from the center. So Statesboro is our center right now. Growing out from here, not going to Texas and open up a place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going somewhere else in Georgia.
Yeah.
But as far as the entertainment business that I have, I started booking college events at Georgia Southern, and within about 2 years, mentioning Texas, that was my biggest area for booking college events, even bigger than Georgia Southern several years ago. So I was booking college events at UT Austin, Texas A&M, SMU, and everywhere in between. So always looking to do bigger and better things. But for now, this is home, and Statesboro is
big while you're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So coming to the end, how is it when you bring big artists to a city like Statesboro? What goes into that?
So I brought my first, I classify them as ticketed shows. You've got your normal night that it may be free to get in a place. It may be a cover charge to get in. And then you have your ticketed events that you're going online and you're purchasing a ticket to come and see an artist. So for ticketed shows, I started in Statesboro in 2015, brought a country artist named David Nail in, and within a couple weeks sold that event out. And that sparked my interest in the promoter world, and wanting to continue to do that. What goes into that is, just having the relationships in the agency, in the artist agency world, reaching out, trying to make the logistics of it work, finding dates that could work for both us, the venue, and the artist. And then negotiating a deal, and that got a little easier over time. In the beginning, it was kind of, learn as you go, and, some great things happened, some mistakes were made, but learn from it. And, now it's pretty much clockwork. If we want to go out and try to get an artist, we have the connections to do it, and we try to make it happen. I think it's kind of the one thing I would say about Georgia Southern that I don't know if you want to take it as a negative or whatever, but I thought it was always really cool that the school and the UPB, the programming board at Georgia Southern, would bring in some type of big artist every spring for a spring concert. Now, if you've been around Statesboro, you know what happened several years ago. We don't have to go into that. It led to spring concerts not happening anymore.
Was you a part of that?
No.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen if I was part of it. I've tried to connect with Georgia Southern on being a part of bringing something like that back. I think it can be done in the right way, and I think we could go out and get anybody. Nothing, man. But I think that's a shame, man. I think that's a really cool experience that I think a lot of college students at Georgia Southern look forward to. So I think it's a shame that doesn't happen anymore. So if we can kind of fill in the gaps around the year by bringing in some artists and whatnot, we're happy to do it. I think it gives people of the community something a little extra that they don't get to experience on a weekly basis. It's a bigger show, it's a bigger name, it's somebody that they hear on the radio, that they can come out and see. So we'll I feel confident we'll continue to bring in shows here, and we're actually looking at trying to kind of diversify as far as some bigger acts as well too. You know, we've primarily done as far as ticketed shows, country acts. You know, but I've been in talks for pre-COVID. I was in talks to bring in some different type of acts. You know, but then COVID hit and it kind of put things on a standstill for a little while. So, but I'm excited and anxious to, you know, to try to make some cool things happen for the city and for the college students at Southern. So.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Well, my last question to you is, at the end of it all, what is your lasting? What memory would you love to leave on Earth for everybody to remember you by?
Damn, that's deep, Smiley.
Yeah.
You know, I think your name is all you got, right? I mean, I think that I've always taken pride as far as doing business and doing things the right way, you know, and being transparent and honest and doing things to where people respect you and doing things with a level of integrity that where people aren't gonna doubt you, you know. So I think that, you know, continuing to try to build a legacy for Statesboro with our team. I mean, I really believe in the team of people that we have, and I think that everybody plays a huge role in our success. And I think that, you know, we've done really great things, but just continuing to cement a legacy of, you remember that era when there was a lot of fun things to do in Statesboro, you know, and elsewhere, but we're talking about around here, yeah. You know, and I think that, you know, we've started the process of that, you know, but it is, like you said earlier, it's hard to keep that consistency up. So that's our goal day in, day out now, is just continuing to get better and make sure that we do that over the long term. But yeah, man, that's deep, Smiley.
That's deep. I ain't even take it over. Well, shoot, thank you for stopping there. Thank you for taking the time out to do the interview, boss man.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
What can we expect for you in 2021?
Hopefully these vaccines get out there and people actually take them, and hopefully it works and we can get back to you know, life as normal. Yeah. You know, but I think we got some really cool things in the works, you know, and I can make a promise, you know, to the students of Southern and the city of Statesboro, is that we don't stop grinding. You know, we don't stop working as hard as we can to make sure that we are giving people an experience that they can remember, you know, and I don't see us slowing down anytime soon. So we're just going to keep grinding and you know, try to provide that experience for the people.
Yes, sir. So. Tell the people where they can find you at.
You can find the Blue Room at Blue Room Borough on Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat. Airbound Entertainment at Airbound ENT on Instagram and Facebook. Drop us a comment.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for stopping in. It's been a Memoriiies Media podcast. Thank y'all.